I am a word person. I have been since I was a little girl with my nose always stuck so far in a book that my mother would tell me to put it down so she could remember what I looked like. I've never been able to get used to these new technologies that try to put a person between me and my words. I rejected audiobooks back when we called them books on tape, and as the years progressed, I've been no friendlier to podcasts and vlogs and all their kin. I'm annoyed every single time I click on a Google search result and find that it's a video. I wanted words, written down words, not some person talking. So I was shocked to realize not that long ago that poetry is different. Even as an English major, I was never that comfortable with poems, but it turns out that my ambivalence changes to love when the words leave the page, when someone speaks them, especially when I speak them, when they breathe, literally. I learned this as your worship leader, both practicing at home and here in the pulpit. I'm delighted when the service includes a poem as the reading. I am deeply moved by speaking a meaningful poem aloud, over and over, finding the breath in the poem, feeling its very heart, noticing the places where I feel the tears come. Tears that tell me this is significant, this is the essence, this is real, and holding those tears in just the right place, where I can feel their sting, but still see, still speak, still fill my lungs with the breath of the poet. For me, there are few spiritual experiences more profound than that. So I heartily suggest to you, if you find yourself going back to any of these poems or another that holds weight for you, try reading it out loud. You'll probably feel silly at first, I often do, but stick with it. Speak it once, then speak it again. Give it a life, let it breathe. Read it to an audience if you wish and have a willing one, but most importantly, read it to you. You may find a deeper meaning emerging than you'd ever before guessed. Of course, you all have some experience with this, since we speak the affirmation in unison every time we gather. And we sing, breathing together the poetry of the lyrics, calling each other into community, into empathy with the words and with one another. So now, we're going to call on you old pros to perform a poem with us, Running to a Gigi by local poet V.B. Price. The words you'll speak will appear on the projection wall above us just before we gesture to you, like this, to speak them with us. Settle in and enjoy. This is going to be beautiful, trust me. So, if you're ready, let us begin. When you know who you are, you do who you are, polishing a mountain without a goal. There is nothing more. There is nothing other.
At 10, I did who I was. I had no choice. Knowing and doing were not apart. And where I was as much of myself as what I did.
Now is a holy place.
Then years of trying and coming apart.
Polishing stones, not the mountain.
Until the canyon wore me away. So I could see myself
singular as rocks,
as shadows, clouds, as cliff curves, edges, water scars, and swirls, real as skin,
clear as sudden change.
My body opening to the stars like Chakra Mesa on the skull of the world. Now, at 50, I am the place again.
The front and the back are part of the same.
At 10, the place was a forest street where I did who I was, biking to escape tender failures, sailing through arbors of high ponderosas, winding like grassy streams through Saturday morning sun.
When you are who you are, you do who you are. The sacred and profane are sacred.
At dawn, near La Fajada, breathing in the rising light, I am 10 and 50 all at once. Running through fossil fields of corn, running the cool space of canyon shade, as one runs memories through the gorge of time. I see myself in the shadow at my side. Bike rider, now dawn runner, reaching Wajiji at the moment the sun blooms wildflower light, lighting white over the canyon rim, over the edge of my brain. Stunned by God again and again. Why should I doubt any longer?
Now is a holy place. There is nothing more. There is nothing other. The front and the back are part of the same. The sacred and profane are sacred. You are young, so you know everything. You leap into the boat and begin rowing. But listen to me. Without fanfare, without embarrassment, without any doubt, I talk directly to your soul. Listen to me. Lift the oars from the water, let your arms rest, and your heart, and heart's little intelligence, and listen to me. There is life without love. It is not worth a bent penny or a scuffed shoe. It is not worth the body of a dead dog 9 days unburied. When you hear, a mile away and still out of sight, the churn of the water as it begins to swirl and roil, fretting around the sharp rocks, when you hear that unmistakable pounding, when you feel the mist on your mouth and sense ahead the embattlement, the long falls plunging and steaming, then row for your life toward it.
I don't want love. Not love, but something that when it loses its green, holds its form, like Ocotillo. Long flutes of cactus to build a ramada at the threshold of my house, my home, in my name. When I love myself as I loved you, I will let you in.
Another way to end a relationship. If you can't pull it up by the roots, take it out of the sun. Stop watering it.
You can't have it all.
But you can have the fig tree and its fat leaves like clown hands gloved with green.
You can have the touch of a single 11-year-old finger on your cheek waking you up at 1 a.m. to say,
"The hamster is back."
You can have the purr of the cat and the soulful look of the black dog, the look that says,
"If I could, I would bite every sorrow until it fled."
And when it is August, you can have it August.
And abundantly so. You can have love, though often it will be mysterious, like the white foam that bubbles up at the top of the bean pot over the red kidneys until you realize foam's twin is blood.
You can have the skin at the center between a man's legs, so solid, so doll-like.
You can have the life of the mind, glowing occasionally in priestly vestments,
Never admitting pettiness.
never stooping to bribe the sullen guard who'll tell you,
All roads narrow at the border.
you can speak a foreign language sometimes, and it can mean something.
You can visit the marker on the grave where your father wept openly.
You can't bring back the dead.
But you can have the words
Forgive and forget.
Hold hands as if they meant to spend
A lifetime together.
And you can be grateful for makeup.
The way it kisses your face.
Half spice, half amnesia.
Grateful for Mozart, his many notes racing each other towards joy.
For towels sucking up the drops on your clean skin.
And for deeper thirsts, for passion fruit, for saliva.
You can have the dream of Egypt.
The horses of Egypt and you riding in the hot sand.
And you can have your grandfather sitting on the side of your bed.
At least for a while.
You can have clouds and letters.
The leaping of distances.
And Indian food with yellow sauce like sunrise.
You can't count on grace to pick you out of a crowd.
But here is your friend to teach you how to high jump, how to throw yourself over the bar backwards until you learn about love, about sweet surrender.
And here are periwinkles,
Buses that kneel.
farms in the mind as real as Africa.
And when adulthood fails you,
You can still summon the memory of the black swan on the pond of your childhood,
the rye bread with peanut butter and bananas your grandmother gave you while the rest of the family slept.
There is the voice you can still summon at will,
Like
your
your
mother's. It will always whisper,
You can't have it all, but there is
this. And now, please rise, embody your spirit, and